Hello everybody, John here again. So in last week's video I talked about the edge banding and gluing up, and in this week's video I'm just going to go basics through a sander I have here, as well as what finish I'm going to be using and how I'm going to be applying that. So as you can see, I got my shelf right out here. Today I will be using this random orbital sander. This is not variable speed, but you can get a Dewalt variable speed. This was purchased, I believe, through Lowe's. It's either Lowe's or Home Depot. And basically what this does is it has a hook and loop on the bottom here that you can attach, and I'll actually grab one. You can attach these disposable sanding pads to, and you just have to align the holes, and you can sand with variable grits. The nice thing about this, again, is random, so it's going to be spinning randomly in a circle, but then this whole unit actually spins as well. And what the purpose of the holes here are for dust collection. Okay, that's what this little tank or little area in the back here, it'll actually pull up through the spinning motion as much particles as possible. So I want to show you one of my earlier models of random orbital sanders I have here. So this was one of the first ones I ever got. It was a Porter cable. I still use it, it's great, but I want to talk about a little bit of the difference here. First off, you can see, well, maybe not, but the shroud that goes over, well, it actually does not go over the sanding pad on this one. You can see it's actually tucked back here, opposed to this shroud, which does go slightly over the sanding pad. And the real perk about that is that helps to pull sawdust. So not only does it pull it through the holes here, but it actually pulls it around the edges, so any that's on the table will be pulled up. This one does not have that, so you're going to have a little bit more, you know, it's a little tucked up here, and it actually doesn't even have a pull up area in there, but it's going to have a little bit more sawdust on the table, and it's going to produce more in the air for, you know, be a hazard to breathe in. Also with this one thing I learned the hard way was this cord here. You know, I was typically just wrapping it around just like this, and eventually it broke. So what I did is we have these little not zip tie, these Velcro hook and loops, so I can wrap it up a little bit farther down and then actually Velcro this together, putting less strain on this, because what's going to happen, just like you saw in the previous one, is that's going to break, and eventually the cord itself is going to break, and you're going to have to do some electrical work on it. Also, the housing of the sandpaper here, or the not sandpaper, the housing of the sawdust here, this device is actually a little bit tighter on there. Anyone who's used the Porter cable oscillator or random orbital sanders in the shop has probably found that over time, using it, this pops off on the Porter cable. But I have not had any problems with that, and it's had good reviews online for having a really tight lock. So anyways, I'm going to start with a low grit of 120. Making sure, yep, 120 here. I'm going to go ahead and line it up. Now I do the taco method, I call it, is I actually fold this piece of sandpaper like a taco, and line the top one, the bottom one, then lay it flat. I mean, there's 4 or 5 different ways to do this, but I find that it works pretty well with aligning the holes. So I'm going to go ahead and sand this. The key is making sure that I don't put too much pressure down, because I'll actually stop the random orbital rotation and you'll actually get streaks. And I don't want to angle or bend. A lot of people not necessarily first time, but a lot of people who maybe don't have experience with using a random orbital sander, they'll see a little uneven spot and they'll try to go at an angle. It's going to create a lot of divots. And when you try to go at the higher grits, you're going to have a lot of uniform or non-uniform grits across the board. So I'm going to try to keep it flat and just do all flat surfaces. I'm not rounding any edges over or anything like that. Going to bore you just yet with just a video of me sanding, so I want to talk a little bit more as well as the finishing technique, and then I'm just going to sand for maybe an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, and then put some finish on. But so the drawback to the random orbital sander is sometimes the spaces. So I can get most of the flat surface, the exterior surfaces, and some of the shelves, but when it gets to these smaller shelves, I can't get in there. So I will have to resort to a block of wood with some sandpaper on it, or something like that to get in those tight knit spots. So again, I'm gonna go through with 120, 220, then 320 sandpaper. And the sandpaper I'm using is from Clean Sports, so they're similar to Woodcraft or any specialty woodworking store. They have large packs of all different types of sandpaper, and I've just used them over the years and just really like them. So again, I'm going to go 120, 220, 320, and then afterwards I will be using, this is an old container, some boiled linseed oil. It's just really super easy. I don't really need super thick protection or anything like that. I just want something really simple that I can put a couple coats on, and just have it protect. So it's just a really simple finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding, and then I'm gonna do some oil on there, and I'm just gonna use a paper towel for that and some gloves. Cool.